Today, we're gonna talk about the best formation in FC25. It ain't 4-2-1-3, and trust me, this updated tactics will help you in the highest division or even if you're in the lower ones. Come on, boys, let's do this. If you're looking for cheap FC25 coins, make sure to check fifacoin.com, super fast delivery, and use the code OVI to get an even bigger discount. Link will be in the description. What is going on, everyone? My name is Ovi and welcome to a new episode of the Road to Glory. Oh wait, it's not a Road to Glory, bro. It is not the Road to Glory. We are talking about custom tactics and we've got something really important that needs to be taken care of today. Is 4-2-1-3 still the top dog? Yes, but we do have a formation and particular set of settings that will help you counter the 4-2-1-3. If you're bored of that and want something else, this one will be absolutely fantastic. If you want to see the code, jump at the end of the video. Otherwise, stay with me right here so I can explain you why this formation is absolutely stellar. We've got a separate variation of the 4-4-2. You are seeing it on the screen right now, and it is something absolutely stellar. This variation right here is a bit more defensive than the classic 4-4-2 and will offer you the tools in order to beat any 4-2-1-3 variation if you have the proper players and proper tactics. First of all, it is a 4-4-2 with a build-up play style at balanced. Here, there is no discussion between short passing or counter. I think balanced is the way. But at defensive approach, we've got two options here, 70 and 50. The 70 I use as standard, but if my opponent is playing 4-4-1-1, 4-4-1 being great for passes from the camp, first touch passes from the camp to the striker, over the head passes, which are dangerous, I play 50 here. So do this formation, this 4-4-2 with 70, and then just copy the other one, duplicate the formation and add the other line height for the second formation and change depending on the opponent's formation. Now for the player roles, which are a bit different comparing with what we've had before. What is the problem against the 4-2-1-3? The 4-2-1-3 is great for counterattacks. The left winger and right winger of the 4-2-1-3 will almost always get in the gap between the center back and the right back, the center back and the left back. But there is a way to counter that. Your formation will be a bit defensive indeed, but it is fantastic to counter that 4-2-1-3. We will be having, instead of focus on balanced on the fullback, we will be having defend. The same for the right back, the same for the left back. This combination right here makes your left back and center back, right back and other center back stay closer to each other and counter those gaps in defense, not giving a chance to the 4-2-1-3 wingers, left winger and right winger, to get in that gap, which also annuls a bit the options for counterattacks on the wings, because when the 4-2-1-3 gets the ball, they just rush with a driven pass or a through ball if they have incisive at that player on the wing, and they just ravage the defense. Well, not the case right here because we have the antidote. Now, goalkeeper will be on a roll, goalkeeper, focus, defend. The two center backs best this year is just roll, defender, focus on defend. Now, you might ask me, Ovi, if I have the fullbacks in a 4-4-2 at defend, how am I going to attack? Because a big part of the 4-4-2 is attacking down the wings using the fullbacks. You're going to have two variations. You either manually trigger the runs of one fullback at a time, which will indeed open yourself on that part of the pitch if you lose the ball in attack. That is one option. And now the less riskier option. Have a right central midfielder or a left central midfielder on playmaker, focus on attack. And you will be absolutely stellar. You will have a player that goes behind the two strikers and helps you a lot in attack. Extremely important here. When you select your player that will be going forward and supporting the attacks, my advice is to have a right-footed player on the right side, a left-footed player on the left side. Why? Trivelas are so important in this game. And having that option in attack will be an absolute game changer. Also, if somehow you can combine a tiki-taka together with incisive, that would be lovely for the central midfielder that is going forward. That being said, always, in my opinion, it is good here in the midfield to have a pair that completes each other. One is good going forward and the other one is good at holding, and that is exactly what we're going to use on the second midfielder, holding with defend. There is also the option right here that's very interesting with deep lying playmaker, but from my personal experience, I do prefer more the holding part. It seems like he covers a bit more ground over here. It's difficult. It's very difficult with these options, because it will always, in the 4-4-2, you're gonna have a gap between the center back and the CMs. And the secret here is, when defending, is to manually move the central midfielders in attack and try to defend as less as possible with the center backs. But there isn't, in my opinion, another formation that is more complete when going forward with the ball. Now, for the left midfielder and right midfielder formation position, again, we start in a 4-4. We change minute 1 to a 4-4-2 to not lose chemistry. We do lose role, for example, here at Maradona. But in my opinion, it is more important, as I always tell you, to have the proper player in the proper position for a certain type of shot, even if he doesn't get the role. So inside forward for Diego Armando Maradona El Pibe d'Oro, he is lethal with trivelas. The same for James over here. Now, for the two strikers, there are a few variations that can be played indeed. I'm going to tell you the ones that should never be played. If you have the right central midfielder on playmaker, do not go at the right striker and make him false 9 or advance forward with support. Him and the right central midfielder will just be a lot of times too close to each other, and you will not be covering the important areas of the pitch. That's a no-go. Personally, I prefer just to have advance forward at everyone, and that is it. But, for example, Pele here has false 9 plus. He would be fantastic in that position. The plus makes such a big difference, but I can't use it because I have Zidane as a playmaker. Ideally, I should have here Zidane with holding and a left central midfielder that is left-footed to go as a playmaker, and one that has playmaker plus, and I would be playing like this. Pele would be fantastic like that. The plus in attack makes such a big difference. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for this current setup lineup for the squad, so we'll have to be happy with an advanced forward. The other striker is also on advanced forward. That is the 4-4-2. It's stellar. This change right here with the fullbacks staying like that in defense makes all the difference in the world. In the same time, if you want to be a tad more offensive but still be a bit safer in defense, you can have one of the fullbacks stay on fullback defend and the other one to stay on balanced. And you would be attacking a bit like this, more on the left side. That's also important and an interesting take on this game. But I will be leaving it like this. I've been trying it like this, and it works quite nicely. Code on the screen for this variation of the 4-4-2. The game changer is the right or left central attacking midfielder that goes forward. You have triangles with the right mid, with the left mid that will help you build up easier attacks. Less use of the fullbacks, only when you manually trigger them. If you got any questions, drop a comment below. My name is Ovi, and I'll see you fellas in the next videos. Ciao, ciao.